In this program, you will see the pattern of interaction between citizens and administration. Most of the time, citizen is unhappy with the way administration functions. He is dissatisfied with the way the administrators behave towards him. On the other hand, administration is conscious of the kind of grievances the citizen may have. It attempts to develop machinery, to develop certain procedures and method so that these grievances are redressed and the citizen is satisfied of the services that administration gives to him. This kind of a problem has arisen particularly after India became independent, because it introduced two major innovations. One was, in contrast to colonial administration, it introduced democracy. Now, what does democracy mean? Democracy means that the rule of the government is for the citizen. It is for his welfare, and it is also on his behalf. Hence, the citizen has control over the administration, has control over the administrators who implement the programs of government. Secondly, another change that occurred was that the government vastly expanded its functions. You know, the citizen wants to travel. Most probably, or definitely all the time, if he travels by rail, he will use the railway provided by the government. If he wants to travel by air, he will use the Indian Airlines, which is run by the government. Even a bus service, more often than not, he shall be using a service provided by the government. But this is not all. This is also true in cases of health, where he uses a government hospital. This is also true in cases of education, when more often than not, again, he uses a government school. But this is only for normal times. In a crisis situation, in abnormal times like those of flood, drought, or earthquake, the citizen expects that the government will come forward to alleviate his suffering. The government will come forward to give him food where required, will come forward to give him shelter, or come forward to give him medical aid. With all this kind of an expectation and this kind of interaction, what does the citizen feel about the government? Most often, he is dissatisfied. He is unhappy. He feels that the government is not doing enough. He sometimes feels that the administrator is rude to him. He feels that the administrator is confined to his own rules and regulations and does not listen to his grievances. Now, in such a situation, what does the citizen do? How does he make the government or the administration to act where he feels it should act, or not act where he feels that it should not act, or where he feels that favoritism has been done? What should he do? How does he get fair and just functioning from the government? This is the major problem.
Our first and foremost problem is how to procure safe drinking water. Before the government helped us install the water pump at this spot, drinking water was not available within a radius of 5 kilometers.
पानी आता है, पानी 5 का 4 को उसमें तो खड़ा है।
अच्छा, खारा
बटे बटे पानी आता है, आगे खारा पानी, मीठा पानी नहीं है।
मीठा पानी नहीं है। अच्छा, इस यहाँ से पीछे कितनी दूर तक पानी है?
या तो बटे 5 को उसमें तो पानी
5 को, यानी कि यहाँ से 5 कोस इधर, 5 कोस उधर कोई पीने का पानी नहीं है।
कहीं जानकारी को नहीं, की को मिला नहीं, वो डिपो खोल रखी है जगह में, वो घास आवे जो को मैं तो जाऊँ जितने मान तो मिले को लोग हेजान में दे दिया हुआ। पहले की को नहीं पड़ा।
Fodder shortage is really acute. We shout and protest for our demands in the panchayat meetings. We sent applications to the collector, but to no avail.
5 किलोमीटर है
The fodder for buffaloes goes to the village depot, but we do not get it easily, not even when we are ready to pay its price. There is no veterinary hospital near our village, no hospital for people too. The government talks a lot about building hospitals, but it is all empty talk.
कलेक्टर साहब को निवेदन करते हैं, पंचायत समिति में चलाते हैं, एप्लीकेशन देते हैं, पर हमें सुविधा जो मिलनी थी वो पूरी नहीं मिली।
मैं 5 आदमी चावल खाने वाला हूँ। हमको 2 किलो 15 दिन में पहली तारीख को मिलता, फिर मैं दुकान से लेके खाता हूँ 4 रुपया किलो। फिर चीनी के लिए भी उतना ही परेशानी है, 8 रुपया किलो दुकान से लेके खाता हूँ। मेरे पास 2 बच्चा है, मैं उतना छोटा बच्चा को घर में छोड़ के आता हूँ, कोई देखने वाला भी नहीं है। 8 बजे जाते हैं, 8 बजे रात को आते हैं। हफ्ता में 2 दिन छुट्टी रहता है, उस दिन मिलता नहीं है। फिर यही समस्या है, 5 आदमी में 2 किलो चावल से क्या होगा। फिर 15 दिन के बाद बोलता है चावल है ही नहीं, गेहूँ है ही नहीं। मैं बोलती हूँ गेहूँ भी दे दो तो रोटी भी खाऊं, नहीं गेहूँ भी नहीं है, फिर मैं चली जाती हूँ।
एक तो ये वायर है ना, अब सीधी खींच रही है, क्योंकि अपनी दीवार पे कोई नहीं लगाने देता। सबके घरों में करंट आता है, सबकी छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, नलों में सबके घर करंट आता है, तो इसीलिए ये सीधी खींची हुई है। कोई भी अपनी दीवार के साथ नहीं लगाने देता। एक घर है जिसके साथ सभी गई हुई हैं और उसी की उनको बहुत प्रॉब्लम है। अलमारी को हाथ नहीं लगा सकते, पोछा नहीं लगा सकते, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, छोटे छोटे बच्चे। और एक देखो ये हमारा पूरा वेड़ा है, इसमें एक ये कारपोरेशन ने लाइट दी हुई है, स्ट्रीट लाइट समझो या कुछ समझो। ये एक बार जली है, उसके बाद तो बिल्कुल बंद है। कोई भी देखने नहीं आया कि जल रही है या नहीं जल रही या क्या है। ये चाहिए ना कारपोरेशन को, बिल्कुल नहीं। उधर वो लैट्रिन है, सबकी कंबाइंड है, पूरे वेड़े में 20-22 घर हैं, सबकी लैट्रिन वही है, उनमें भी लाइट नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी लाइट नहीं। अंधेरे में जाते हैं, कभी मोमबत्ती लेके जाते हैं, कभी किसी के पास होती है, कभी नहीं होती। बड़ी परेशानी है, कुछ भी नहीं हमारे में तो। इलेक्ट्रिक ये डेसो वाले तो कुछ नहीं कर रहे।
यहाँ आने जाने का रास्ता बिल्कुल अवरुद्ध है। गाड़े और कीचड़ में से हमें निकलना पड़ता है। बच्चे स्कूल जाते हैं तो उनका सही सलामत पहुंचना मुश्किल रहता है। और तकलीफ इतनी है कि मतलब झील की तरह पानी खड़ा रहता है, बरसात आ जाती है। और आज बरसात नहीं है तो आज भी मतलब यहाँ पर वही हाल है। नालियों का जो पानी है टट्टी भरा, उसमें से हमें गुजरना पड़ता है।
One way to resolve the kinds of complaints that we saw as far as the municipal corporation or the problems of sewage, drinking water and health were concerned was to have what has come to be known as participative administration. Now, what does this participative administration mean? It means that the administration should involve citizens, those who are affected by its decision, in those very forums where the decisions are taken. This can be possible by involving representatives of groups, probably representatives of the residential colony that we saw just now, who could come and sit with the administrators to plan out the roads, plan out the drinking water supply, they plan out other kinds of facilities. In cases of crisis, like famine or scarcity, the need of making the administrators accountable becomes even more urgent.
The final payment of chukara or grain wages to workers engaged in the projects is one of the major issues here.
पिपलवाद का एनीकट का काम
He and his family started work on Anicuts 2.5 months ago.
होने से पहले
They are still to get their wages.
करीब लगभग 2 महीने
They have to beg for food to survive.
एक भी चुकारा नहीं हुआ। ये लोग क्या खा के काम करते, इधर उधर ला के अपना अपना पेट गुजारा करते। इसी काम का जल्दी से जल्दी पेमेंट होना चाहिए।
अभिकरण के माध्यम से विभिन्न
The agencies appointed by the development authorities cannot anymore be trusted for the timely delivery of wages.
ठीक नहीं है।
The panchayat samitis and village panchayats should be directly responsible for payment of wages.
कि 1.5 महीना 2 महीना
और कहीं 2.5 महीने का चुकारा बकाया रहा, वो अलग अलग विभाग की व्यवस्थाओं का और ट्राइबल में जो चुकारा लैंप्स को दिया उनकी एक जगह गेहूं की होल्डिंग कर लेना, हर क्षेत्र पर नहीं पहुंचाना, जहां काम चल रहा है वहां या पंचायत हेडक्वार्टर पर नहीं पहुंचना, ये भी हमारे लिए एक दुखदाई हो गई और जनता के लिए एक बहुत कष्टदायक हो गई कि वो उनको समय पे और स्थान पर अनाज नहीं मिल पा रहा है।
Now in such type of a situation, if the villagers have a problem, whether it is questions of delay in payment, whether it is questions of non-payment, whether it is a question of non-provision of fair price shops, what does he do? His requirement is very urgent. He cannot wait for other procedures and methods to appeal to administration. In such cases, as you will have seen in the drought relief program, the elected representatives come in. They provide the voice for the poor villager and speak to the government, speak to the administration. The collector himself, conscious of his responsibilities, also attempts to use his own administrative machinery that such problems are resolved as quickly as possible once complaints of such type come to him.
हैं उनको दे दी है, इरिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट को भी नगद राशि भी दे दी है और मैं समझता हूँ कि इस वीक के अंदर पूरा चुकारा हो जाना चाहिए.
Similarly, many departments have now adopted a method by which they can quickly not only get complaints but also take concerted action to resolve problems of the citizen. This is by establishing separate and independent sections which would only be taking in the complaints of the users of the services of the department. Citizens can come, register their complaints, and it will be the responsibility of this section of trying to see where the complaint lies within the department and try to help the citizen that his grievance is redressed as early as possible. These have come to be known as redressal cells, sections or departments in each of those administrative departments which provide some kind of services to the people.
Executive engineers meet people, their bosses, additional chief engineers also meet people at fixed hours on fixed dates. These are all some of the things we are doing. Make full use of all these opportunities. Let there not be any communication gap between us, between the department and between the consumers.
People are free to meet their area managers between 3 to 4 every day. And then, after the Nigam was formed, in the month of April 86, on all the Saturdays of the month, we said that you are free to walk into your AM's office right from 10 to 2 without an appointment. People had given a very overwhelming response to this, and we have continued with the practice. Even today, on the last Saturday of the month between 10 to 2, without an appointment, you can meet your area managers. This is an opportunity for face-to-face solution to your problems, just as you have in the telephone adalat. And not only that, you can make suggestions. All these avenues put together, similarly meeting at the lower levels with the PROs, with the concerned accounts officers, with the SDOs, with the Ds. So these are the kind of things which are making a sea change in the public confidence, in the Nigam's sense of service, I must say that. Now, very important for me is that we must grow very fast. And that's the only way that when you are growing very fast with more and more modern technology equipments, you can consolidate better. You can provide the telephones as and when they are needed. But everybody today who comes for a telephone to you, he is in very, very dire need for the same. People have to pay. I know it's hard-earned money. It becomes my duty to see that everyone is satisfied. It is not only the computerization of the direct inquiry service which is giving the results, it is their attitude. One fellow came to me, I was so surprised when I told the operator, no, I have spoken only for 2 minutes. and you say that the call is over. He said, I'm so sorry, sir, if you have, we'll give you another minute. So these are the kind of things which technology cannot really solve. The people who man the services, their attitude towards the customer. And in open house sessions, in all these things, I've been involving the staff also. And they answer the public query. They know what the public wants. And when they hear the tension, criticism, then, and they hear that with a sense of understanding which we have been trying to imbibe in them, naturally the response is more positive, more friendly.
In the telephone department, where they have established telephone advisory committees. In these telephone advisory committees, you have representatives of the users. That means representatives of the people who use telephones to come, have meetings with the administrators and advise them or let them know what the needs of the telephone users are.
एक आदमी बिजनेस है, बिजनेस कर रहा है, बिजनेसमैन है, उसका टेलीफोन खराब हो जाता है, डेड हो जाता है, और वाज दफा तो महीना भर के लिए 2-2 महीना और 3-3 महीना डेड रहता है. इस 3 महीने के अंदर उसका बिजनेस तो सफर कर ही रहा है, उसके साथ उसे रेंट भी देना पड़ रहा है. ये हुई दोहरी मार. कम से कम ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसी समस्याएं अक्सर हम लोग अपनी एडवाइजरी कमेटी की मीटिंग में उठाते हैं, जिस पर गौर भी किया जाता है, लेकिन उतना नहीं जितना होना चाहिए. इसके लिए टेलीफोन विभाग के अपने पूरे ढांचे को दोबारा से सुधारने की जरूरत है. अब देखिए, हमने केस रिकमेंड किया, उसके बाद भी पता नहीं कितना समय लगा कि कंप्लेंट केस है, टेलीफोन कनेक्शन का केस है. अब ये जो लंबा पीरियड और लंबा समय है, ये किस लिए लग रहा है, हमें इस बात के लिए सोचना है. टेलीफोन डिपार्टमेंट को इस बात के लिए सोचना है और अपने पूरे ढांचे को दोबारा से इसके लिए तैयार करना है, और तभी इसका कुछ फायदा हो सकेगा. नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं, सब बेकार है.
So what have we seen up to now? We have seen that in course of years, the administration has responded to the citizen demands and grievances by changing and adopting new procedures and new methods. If the need has arisen, the departments have established separate grievance machineries, grievance cells, which can on a whole time basis take care of citizen complaints. But probably these are not enough. Something more has to be done. And it is in such cases that in the past few years, 2 innovations have come in which I think we need to know about. One innovation has come to be known as Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat is a forum which many departments have adopted, where administrators who take decisions and citizens who are affected by these decisions come together in a single forum. On this occasion, citizens raise their own complaints, are ready to talk about how and why the department is not functioning in the way that he expects it to function. The administrators can defend their positions, and it is at this forum that immediate decisions are taken. So there is no delay, there is no postponement. With the citizens themselves, those who are complaining, those who have brought complaints, administrators among themselves and in consultation with the citizens can take such decisions immediately which can redress their grievances.
वो 2-4 दिन लगे तो उसमें कोई
इसकी कोई बात नहीं, हेलीकॉप्टर हो जाएंगे, जहाँ इतना रुपया
आप पेमेंट कर दो आज.
पेमेंट कर दो.
That means the case is pending since 81.
82. Since 82.
As a special case. As a special case thereafter. चलिए.
ठीक है.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you sir.
Thank you.
7 साल तक जब हमारा ये केस नहीं हुआ, तब हमने अपना ये केस अदालत को पुटअप किया, जो कि अभी अभी में अदालत में पेश हुआ. और उन्होंने, जो कि ये टेलीफोन डीएनपी हो चुका था एज पर पीएनटी सिंस दिसंबर 82, तो उन्होंने स्पेशल रिक्वेस्ट से उसको अगेंस्ट 40% रेंट के अगेंस्ट रेस्टोरेशन के उन्होंने ऑर्डर्स दे दिए हैं. अब वो टेलीफोन जो है अब नेक्स्ट वीक में पेमेंट करने के बाद जो कि 4-4.5 हज़ार रुपये की पेमेंट है वो अब रेस्टोर हो जाएगा.
The second innovation has come about through the use of courts. Today, a citizen can appeal to the court to intervene with the administration on its behalf. Such type of an appeal and such type of court intervention is known as public interest litigation. In the recent years, at least in the past decade or so, this method has been frequently used where the citizens affected have used all other forums and failed. For example, in the area of industrial pollution, where there's tremendous amount of smoke that is belched out in intense, dense residential colonies, people's health is affected, and the citizen is unable to see the administration or get the administration to give him clean and healthy air for a good, healthy living. In such cases, citizens have gone to the court. The whole issue of accountability and citizens' grievances that we have been discussing up to now is being discussed within a framework of democracy. And this is what we had started from right in the beginning. Democracy is what has changed the character of administration. Democracy is also the final weapon in the hands of the citizen. The citizen can vote out a government with which he is dissatisfied and vote in a new set of faces which he feels will provide him better facilities, better administration. Such type of a situation came sharply in focus in 1977 when one government was overwhelmingly voted out. This experience was repeated in 1980 when the ruling government was voted out and another party to rule the country was brought in. This is the final weapon that a citizen has, and this acknowledges that in a democracy, citizen is the master. He is the one who rules. Democracy also allows another forum where citizen grievances can be redressed, and this is the national parliament. Parliament, when in session, provides an opportunity for the citizen to bring in those grievances that are significant or from which the citizens are suffering very acutely. Citizens, through their representatives, can question the government and ask them to act in a way that is helpful towards them. I will only mention at least two kinds of methods that the Parliament adopts for such type of spontaneous questioning of the government. One is the use of parliamentary questions through the question hour. Every day when the Parliament is in session, some time is allotted where any member of Parliament on behalf of his constituents can raise questions, ask for information, and create a situation where the government may be forced to act one way or the other. Another potent method is what has come to be known as calling attention motion, where a member of the Parliament can, not in the allotted time like the question hour, but during any time where other business is being taken up, call attention of the House and ask the House to consider a problem of far more urgent nature that is affecting the people. In our country, in the past couple of years, I think the media has gone on to play quite an important role in influencing public opinion. The newspapers have provided a forum for citizens to air their grievances, ventilate their complaints, and allow the administration to respond to these complaints. We have looked at the citizens' grievances and the pattern of their interaction with administration. We have also focused our attention on the way administration has responded to these grievances, has become flexible in providing innovative procedures and methods so that the complaints of the citizens can be met with. But obviously, all demands of citizens cannot be met. There can be financial or technical or other kinds of limitations. But what is important to note that in a democracy, there is now in India an increasing public awareness of citizen rights and what they should get from the government. At the same time, there is a growing consciousness among administrators to provide to the citizen a more efficient and honest administration.